So you mentioned Star Wars. You're watching Andor, Andor season two.
I am. I
Yeah.
am. I am. Season two. Have you checked it out?
Yeah. So before you tell me what you think of
Hmm.
season two,
Yeah.
could you please share your thoughts on the Bail Organa recast?
Well, look, I mean, listen, your first reaction is always going to be the knee-jerk one,
Hmm.
right? Your emotional one. And then if you're emotionally connected to something and there's a change, I don't like change, don't change it. So, I I love Jimmy Smits.
Yeah.
He's done so many great characters. This guy's Emmy award winning actor. Did you ever see him in The Believers?
No. No.
Oh, did you ever
Yeah.
see Believers with Martin Sheen?
No, I haven't.
Oh, dude, you'd love that flick. So he's like it's a supernatural,
Okay.
right? And this is like late 80s, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a younger Jimmy Smits, and he's a cop,
Mm-hmm.
and he's on the trail of the of these bad dudes. That a lot those are in my store too. But they drive him nuts. Dude, he's so good. He's not in it a lot, but he's so powerful in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's called The Believers. Great film, man. Great, like like a voodoo, that Martin Sheen goes on the hunt for. So yeah. So back to Jimmy. So yeah, you have this connection growing up with
Yeah.
him, and then he's been Bail Organa for 23 years, on and off, different iterations, right?
Yeah.
Always solid, but I think he started cementing him with Rogue One,
Mm-hmm.
and then with Kenobi.
Yeah.
And Kenobi was pretty bad, but
Mm-hmm.
he's just always solid. So they recast it with Benjamin Bratt.
Yeah.
He's another one I love. You know, he's just got a different energy.
Yeah.
Benjamin Bratt, has got that kind of hot head, different type of gravitas from from Blood In Blood Out to Short Eyes, and then he can have some levity, but kind of keep a serious tone, even like a Miss Congeniality.
Yeah.
He played a
Yeah.
great foil to Sandra Bullock
Mm-hmm.
that I don't think Jimmy could have. Jimmy is kind of like, he's rooted more like a mountain,
Yeah.
whereas Benjamin Bratt is a surfer,
Uh-huh.
and he literally is a surfer. He
Yeah.
grew up surfing. So I love both. It was just so jarring to see that scene. It was just like, what?
Yeah.
Um, so what I'm hearing is that the role he's gonna be predominantly in the later half of season two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least that's what I've heard that
Hmm.
the third arc
Yeah.
he's gonna cook. That's what I'm hearing.
And you know what? Listen. I would have been really upset if they had casted with, like, not a Latino,
Yeah. Which
because I'm like, hey,
which that happened originally. I don't know if you
yeah,
remember, but there's a cut scene from episode
hmm,
one with a
yeah,
different actor.
Bale
Not,
Antilles,
but yeah, yeah.
right?
No, it was Bail Organa
But
or
didn't they change it to Bale Antilles to Bale Organa?
Bail,
I can't remember.
Bail Antilles.
Uh,
I think Bail Antilles was, and Bail Antilles was.
there was like a
What I
different,
think that was the captain in the attentive four.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think so, but yeah, there was a Bail
But in Phantom
Organa.
Menace, there was a different actor.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Bail Organa was supposed to show up in the Phantom Menace, and they cut the scene, but it was a different actor, not Latino.
That's funny.
So what I think of I mean, I like both actors, but what I think of the character Bail Organa,
Hmm.
um, I understand that that George Lucas used him as a side character in the prequels,
Hmm.
but I also think that George knew that the fans understood how important he was. After I think he knew that the fans would fill up the blanks, fill out the blanks.
Yep.
Um, so I think
Yeah, even more so because of his connection to Leia, to Princess Leia.
Yeah, and
absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
and that's what, just to cut in, and that's what I really loved about Jimmy and the little Leia. I don't know why we needed Leia, but I love their scenes because his gravitas as a father was just right on.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's what he is important because he is Princess Leia's dad,
mm-hmm.
and revolutionaries are raised by revolutionaries. No, you can't deny your upbringing. So there's that, and then I don't know a lot about the expanded universe, but I know that I know that Bail Organa was one of the founders of the Rebel Alliance in the original expanded universe, the Lucas expanded universe. That I'm not seeing that in the Disney version.
Well, you saw that in is it Clone Wars and Rebels? He makes an appearance. I can't remember his appearances, but
he was in the Bad Batch in the animated series.
Bad Batch, okay.
He was in the Bad Batch, and he was voiced by Phil Lamar.
Okay.
Which I love Phil Lamar, but he was doing like a weird accent, he was doing like a generic Latino accent.
Oh, that's funny.
It's funny. But Jimmy didn't play him in animated at least in Rebels. No, not the
I
Bad
think
Batch.
he did play him in something else, but his look. It was Jimmy's. It was Jimmy's character cartoon, right? It was
in the Clone Wars that was
right. Yeah. So here's a couple things, right? I don't know. Were you done? I'm sorry.
No, just saying that he is one of the founders of the Rebel Alliance, and he is as important as Mon Mothma. So I think that Bail Organa should have been in Andor since season 1.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
So, the recast. I just think it's unfortunate that Jimmy Smits wasn't available. That's what Tony Gilroy said.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
I don't buy it. He was not available, but
I don't believe it at all.
Me neither.
I think they lowballed Jimmy.
Yeah,
and because Jimmy would have done it in a heartbeat. Yeah. He was saying, oh, he was doing his other TV show. That TV show was already done.
Yeah.
He's had nothing on the books since then. So that's, and then you're hearing Jeremy Renner, they lowballed him for season 2 of Hawkeye.
Oh, I heard that.
It makes total sense because these guys don't have a lot of money, even though they spent so much on Andor, right? That they would lowball, Jimmy, which is, just a huge disrespect. But that being said, I talked to Chris Gore. He's seen the whole entire season already, this second season. And he says that Bail's character is amazing. Okay. So I'm like, and he says the first 3 are actually the weakest.
Yeah.
And these last 3 that I just saw, 4 through 6, man, it's like a completely new show.
Yeah. I think when I saw the second arc, what I was thinking while I was watching the second arc was that the first arc now feels disposable. I think that they should have started in the second arc with the Gorman thing.
So let's going back to the Bail thing let's go back to story before we go to the storytelling with Bail. Maybe they'll show him how he connects to the resistance. Because you're right. He should have been in more. I know Tony probably just was going for, he definitely went for more of the female, in the forefront with Mon Mothma on this tape, which is fine. It's his vision.